Hi and welcome to our lesson on divisibility rules. In this lesson, we look at how to check if a number is divisible by 2, 5 or 10. First, we'll look at the 2 times table. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. We can see that the numbers always end in a 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0. This pattern will continue as we repeat every 10. For example, to check if 68 is divisible by 2, we look at what it ends in, which is 8. Since a number must end in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0 to be divisible by 2, we can see that 68 is in the 2 times table. Looking at 1994, it ends in a 4, which is one of our numbers in the 2 times table. 1994 is therefore divisible by 2. Looking at 209, it ends in a 9. 9 is not 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0, and hence it is not in the 2 times table. Looking at 37,110, it ends in 0. This is one of the numbers that we are looking for, so it is divisible by 2. 455 ends in a 5. This is not one of the numbers that we are looking for, so 455 is not divisible by 2. Now we will look at divisibility by 5. The 5 times table can be arranged as follows: 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It always ends in a 5 or a 0. Because 5 is in the 10 times table, this pattern will continue for all numbers. For example, 45. It ends in a 5, so it is in the 5 times table, and it is divisible by 5. 47 does not end in a 5 or a 0. It ends in 7, so it is not divisible by 5. 295 ends in a 5, so it is divisible by 5. 30 ends in 0, so it is divisible by 5. 803 does not end in 5 or 0, so it is not divisible by 5. 17,760 ends in 0, so it is in the 5 times table. This rule works for all numbers, no matter how large. Now we'll look at the 10 times table. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. We can see that they always end in 0. This will repeat because 10 divides into 100. To check if 70 is in the 10 times table, it just needs to end in 0. It does, and therefore it is divisible by 10. 6,730 ends in 0, so it is divisible by 10. 177 ends in 7, not 0, so it is not divisible by 10. This works for all numbers. 2,070,420 ends in 0, so it is divisible by 10. 578,235 ends in 5, not 0, so it is not in the 10 times table. It is not divisible by 10. Here are some practice questions for you to try. Pause the video and have a go. Question 1. 376 ends in a 6. Our divisibility by 2 rule was that it must end in 2, 4, 6, 8 or 0, so it is divisible by 2. It is not in the 5 or 10 times table. Question 2. 925 ends in 5. Our rule for the 5 times table is that it should end in 5 or 0, so 925 is divisible by 5. It is not divisible by 2 or 10. Question 3. 577. It ends in 7. This is not in the 2, 5 or 10 times table, so it's not divisible by 2, 5 or 10. Question 4. 34,410. It ends in 0. A number ending in 0 is in the 5 times table, so it is divisible by 5. It is also in the 10 times table, so it's also divisible by 10. Did you also notice that it is in the 2 times table? So it's also divisible by 2. 34,410 is divisible by 2, 5 and 10. Thank you for watching. Please have a go at the worksheets provided online.